gameplay mechanics is something I'm very concerned about. How are they gonna look like in Hogwarts Legacy? In today's video, I'm gonna talk about how are we gonna use the spells, and more like, what are the mechanics of using the spells in Hogwarts Legacy? I'm Ben Snow, let's get started. First, I want to point out what I don't want the developers to do is to treat spells as gear, because they're not. The spells are not different guns, they're not different swords. There's only one single gear available to us at all times, and that is the wand. I don't want it to be like in Deathly Hallows where we had only a handful of spells to choose from, and every time during the combat we had to pause and select a different spell and then shoot it infinitely. And then if we wanted to switch to another spell, we had to pause again, select, it was just stopping the flow of the game dead. And the problem was that they were treating spells as if they were guns. And so instead, I want the usage of the spells to be based on combos. Just like in fighter games, just like in Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4. And I'll explain why, just hear me out. So, in every fighter game, there's only one gear, and that is a fighter's body. And here, the wand and our spells are essentially the extension of our mind and body, right? So like in fighter games, we don't select a hand or a foot to use, right? Every single move is available to us at any given moment through the usage of different buttons, and when combining those buttons together, we have a combo move. And I believe the same concept should be applied when it comes to spells in Hogwarts Legacy. Each different spell is basically a different combo move, and that way we can use any spells at any given moment. I believe it's gonna create a more engaging, more challenging, and more fun gameplay. That's why I bring up Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4, because Spider-Man uses his webs a lot during the combat, and his webs are essentially the extension of his body and his abilities. Kind of like magic, in a way. And so, I believe how we see the combat in Spider-Man, I believe that's how the combat in Hogwarts Legacy can look like. And more than that, there is one move in Spider-Man that looks exactly the same like in the reveal trailer. Just take a look. So, there's this moment where we yank our enemy into the air and then smash it on the ground. And here's the exact same move in Spider-Man. I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna be the same buttons, but technically, these are the similar moves. Marvel's Spider-Man, I believe, has over 30 different combos, like 30 different moves. And that's, as I mentioned in the previous video, there are 77 spells in Harry Potter universe. So, potentially we can have at least 30. That's already the half of the spells. So there's there's only the half. That's a lot of spells. And they can easily add the bigger half of the spells. And I'm sure it's totally doable. But just imagine that all of this seamless fight can be in Hogwarts Legacy. This is mind-blowing. Just imagine all the combats that we see, imagine that's just through the magic, and at the same time being supervised with amazing graphics and visualizations of the spells. But again, this is just my opinion. I think if the developer is going to utilize combo system in usage of spells, I believe that's going to be the best option to have in Hogwarts Legacy. You know, in Spider-Man, you also have special moves, right? You build up your adrenaline or some kind of power, and then you use that adrenaline for a special move that is more powerful. So I think that's where ancient magic potentially can come in. So we look for the traces of this ancient magic, and then we go to different locations and find, I don't know, scrolls of something. We learn these special spells, right? And then we can apply them, we can have them set as special moves, and then when in combat, when our adrenaline builds up, we can use those ancient magic spells as special moves, you know? So I think that's how it can eventually work out. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It does make sense. And but this is just my theory. Not really a theory. This is how I think the gameplay should look in Hogwarts Legacy, just so to achieve the flawlessness, to achieve like a seamless gameplay that is engaging, that is challenging at the same time, and it's fun, you know, you don't pause for things like that. Yeah, guys, let me know in the comments what is your best option for the combat system? Like, what do you think is the best way to use the spells in terms of mechanics, in terms of gameplay? Like, again, I think this is the best version because it allows us to learn more spells, I think, and it's just like the pace of each battle would be much faster. It's gonna be challenging, like, and that way we can have bigger bosses and stuff. Because again, our spells, they're not different swords, you know, like in Assassin's Creed, where you just have a light attack and a heavy attack, and you have special moves, right? That's just 3 technically different moves. But then you switch between swords. You can have an axe, a sword, a spear, or whatever, right? A two-handed weapon. And even though those weapons look different, they do the same job every single time. They simply do more or less damage. With spells, it's not like that. It's the effects, like, yeah, essentially they're also gonna be dealing damage, but the effects are very different with each spell. So it's not like each spell gonna have a light and heavy attack. Each spell is just gonna be different completely. In the reveal trailer, we've seen a glimpse of a duel, right? And it looked fast. It looked fast-paced, you know? And so I want that fast pace of the combat. I want the fast pace of the dueling, you know, of the casting of the spells, you know? I mean, potentially we could, I don't know, have some potions or healing potions. There are some explosive potions, poisoning, you know. We still would pause sometimes to like use that. Just like in Spider-Man, he uses gadgets, but those are very secondary. They don't really interrupt that much. So yeah, what do you guys think should be the combat mechanics? What do you think is the best way? Do you agree with me? Are you not? It's like I want to see what do you guys think about this. All right, you guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the like if you like this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on my future videos. Thank you. Have a good one.